Next thing you know, you got more starters standing behind you than out there playing. It's all the kids' fault. Kids are soft these days, and you go down this whole rabbit hole without looking in the mirror and saying, maybe it's what we're doing in practice. And if we cut out the BS, we focus on performance, we get our kids out at a good time, we'll have them for Friday and have a better chance to be successful.
Well, I'm glad you said that because we did that. I even fell back a couple of times. I found myself doing it, like going back to old school, like you're doing it. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, wait. Because like I said, the O-line group, like if it's a sprint day, we might go hit the sled. But then I make sure if we do, because I think like, hey, we're not firing off low. We're not doing this. We're going to go hit the sled. And I try to make it realistic. We're only going to hit it for like 6 to 8 seconds. And then we move on to the next group. But then I found myself doing that. Like, okay, then the next thing I do should probably be a walkthrough thing. Like, hey, let's get our mind right. Take your helmet off sometimes. Hey, this is how we block this. This is how they're going to look. And I always try to make sure that we're going to hit the sled. Then we're going to go down there and do double teams and hit and do this. It's like, why am I doing that over and over? Let's make it where, especially people don't think, if you're a small school or us, where we're going to do offense the first half hour, 40 minutes, defense the next. Well, we're doing inside run, we're doing team, then we got to do inside run again and do team, and you're constantly hitting. Like, that's a lot. Then you're hitting an individual, you're hitting in this, and then you're trying to move like this. Like, what does that do? Then by the time we get to Friday and they're like, oh, my shoulder hurts or this hurts. Like, those are things that we're tweaking through right now in this offseason. When I sit down in the spring, I'm going to present all that and say, guys, we have to rethink of how we do this. If we want to be different than everybody else in the conference and do this is what we need to do.
Right. And I think it depends on how experienced your group is. And then as the season goes on and people get comfortable with a practice plan, and if you did inside run offense, inside run defense, and all this stuff, and it's like, how much inside run do I need to do in week 8? I would assume, from a physical standpoint where you're at. And now it's more about the scheme. That's why we go against hand shields a lot, right? It's like, okay, maybe they're in a different front or their front's going to move around. We don't need to see like a double team pancake into the ground. Like, we understand where we're at in that standpoint, but we need to make sure when this guy's in a 4-eye versus, a 7 or whatever, 5, whatever the scenario is, that we understand who's got who and that type of stuff.